What is good, TGG family? Welcome back to another TGG setup guide for Valorant. This time we have the Moroccan mystery, Cypher on Pearl. Cypher is a very good Sentinel on Pearl, as long as you place his abilities in the right places. So, before getting into the setups of this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the TGG YouTube channel if you haven't already, and comment below if you knew any of these beforehand. Now, let's get into the video. The first Spycam placement we have for you on A site is the best you will find. First, you need to climb onto the cafe in the middle of A site and then place the Spycam on the walkway above A flowers. This gives you a perfect view over all of A site, and it isn't an obvious placement for enemies to destroy. Our next Spycam placement is very similar. Climb onto the cafe once again, but this time place the Spycam on the roof behind the cafe instead. This is more obvious, but switch it up now and then so you don't become predictable. Moving over to Cypher's Cybercage. The first one for A site is a one-way cage for defending from the back of A site. Stand against the very edge of the wall nearest to A flowers. You want to place the Cybercage on the small wooden shelf you can see. Just as we have, put your crosshair over the upper end of the shelf to make it easier. This should then be activated when enemies get to A main. Then crouch, and you can see the legs of attackers below it. Our next one-way Cybercage is for A-Link. This will prevent enemies from pushing A site from A art. Start with Cypher standing in the left corner by the barrier leading to A main. Aim upwards at the wall of the A-Link to A site entryway, and place your crosshair about halfway up the edge of the wall. This works for enemies on the stairs, and they will not expect a Cybercage here at all. Next up are Cypher's Trapwires, and the first one for A site is for the default plant position. Place one on the wall of A dugout, nearest to the cafe. Make sure that the trapwire lands in front of the cafe, so enemies cannot plan and avoid it. Another trapwire for A site is covering A-Link. Simply place it on the entryway to A site from A-Link, covering the whole entryway. Use it with the final Cybercage lineup we just showed you to make sure enemies cannot pass through A-Link to A site without going unnoticed. Our final setup for defending A site is another trapwire for the deep cubby on A site. Place it on the wall of A dugout, below the small window. This will prevent enemies from hiding in here once they make it out onto A site. You can also shoot through this wall from A dugout, so make sure to get the awesome montage-worthy Wallbang. The next Spycam is one that gets hidden in a tree, just behind B screen. Stand in B screen and aim at the middle of the right-hand tree, just behind the wall. This gives you perfect vision over the whole of B site, including the entryways to B site from B main and B link. Moving over to the Cybercage placements. This one way is for B main. Stand on the edge of the wall of B site leading to B main. Then throw your Cybercage onto the windowsill above you. If you go and sit in B hallway, you can safely get the vision over enemies pushing down the left side of B main before they can see you. Our next one-way Cybercage is for B link. Stand on the corner of the entryway to the B tower balcony once again, as we did with the previous Spycam placement. Aim at the white line, just above the entryway to B site from B link. Stand in the other end of B hallway to utilize this lineup the most, as enemies have to push through to get to B site, and whilst you can see their legs, they can't see anything. Sneaky, right? Alright, our final defensive side trapwire is for B link. Simply place the trapwire on the generator on B site, near the entryway to B link from B site. This will cover the whole entryway and tag any enemies who push through. Cypher is good on Pearl, but some other agents can perform better. These agents also have lineups you will need to learn. On the official global gaming website and YouTube channel, we have guides for agents such as Yoru, Viper, Raze, Killjoy, KO, Phoenix, Brimstone, Sova, and Fade, all on Pearl 2. Next up are the attacking side setups and placements for Cypher on A site, with the first Spycam looking into A art and A link from A restaurant. Simply stand below the hole in the wall and place your Spycam on the left-hand side. This means that you can look over both areas and see where the defenders are lurking, so you can gather intel safely. The first trapwire we have for you is one for A restaurant, to prevent getting flanked by a defender, which is something defenders do a lot on Pearl. At the top of A restaurant, just before attacker side spawn, place your trapwire on the wall. This will trigger if enemies come from behind, whether it be from mid-top or B site to come and kill you. If you are in a post-plant situation, this trapwire for the default plant position is great, as you can play off-site and know when enemies try to defuse. Place your trapwire on the A dugout wall and make sure it hits the wall of the cafe. This will help you delay a defuse by enemy defenders, so you can get a free round win. The final A site lineup we have for you is a Cybercage for defending A site in a post-plant situation. Place it on the floor in between the entryway to A site from A link and the cafe. This will block vision over A flowers and the A main side of A site. The first Spycam placement we have for attacking B site is from the bottom of B link, overlooking B site. This is very sneaky. You need to stand against the right-hand wall at the bottom of B link. Place your Spycam on the brown wall opposite, just above the entryway to B site from B link. The Spycam goes above the doorway, meaning you can see the whole of B site. The first attacking trapwire we have is defensive. Similar to the A site trapwire, this one prevents flanks from enemy defenders. Simply place this in the entryway from mid-shops to B club, and it will trigger when enemies rotate and flank you. If you want a smart trapwire placement for defending B site in a post-plant situation, use this. Place one on each side of the wall by the pillar holding up the balcony of B tower. This will trigger from any enemies retaking from B tunnel. This Cybercage is for B tunnel, and it is a great Cybercage to use. This is really easy and best used, once again, in a post-plant situation. Simply throw it on the floor in B tunnel, meaning you can make a retake situation a lot harder for enemies. The final placement we have for you is very similar, except you throw a Cybercage up onto the balcony on B tower. This covers the whole entrance, so you can use all of these in conjunction to prevent a retake. That is all we have for you in this video. But if you want some more setups for Cypher on other maps, we have guides for Haven, Ascent, Split, Fracture, Breeze, Pearl, and Bind 2. For now, we will catch you next time, and until then, happy gaming. Go trigger those traps.